You see me, I see you too. Now, could that be because I'm an empath and you are too? Because I know you're talking to me, but you know I'm talking to you too, don't you? I know. Now, I respect people who are very clever and smart. I appreciate intelligence. And there's a way that things are done. And I appreciate the art of engagement. And why is it an art? I'm not talking about engagement like formally walking up to someone or addressing the crowd or something like that. I'm talking about this special type of engagement. No one else is around. No one else knows, but we're here. And I see you. And I know you see me too. Now, that being said, I enjoy the fodder. I enjoy the back and forth because it's stimulating. And some of your messages are very awesome. And yeah, I do appreciate your messages. You know, I do appreciate and respect how you have gained your followings. You know, and that's very commendable. I want you to understand something though. I'm in this to show people my way, just like you, so we can coexist. You know, in some ways, we're like opposites, because the way I perceive the world is based on my reality. And a lot of times in that reality, I've been harmed by people, you know, people that I may have wanted to hug or cared about. A lot of times in these situations, you know, as a child, I was abused. You know, I've been attacked in public, in the street. I'm talking about literally physically attacked by unknown, you know, assailants. I've been almost robbed. And this is before I even, you know, made it to a place in my life where I didn't have to be around that environment. Because sometimes it's your environment. You can have all the love you want, but if you're in the wrong environment, if you don't have the income to not live in a certain environment, then you're immersed in the evil. You're immersed in the negativity. You know, like kind of like people in Southside Chicago, right? You know, the people that literally have to dodge bullets just going to the store. There was a case where someone had shot someone and ran over a baby in the stroller while the mother was pushing it and dragged the baby down the road. And I think they had some suspects. I don't know what became of that, but you know, you think I wasn't happy when they caught these guys? See, I only have compassion for people who are deserving of it. You know, these mass murderers and serial killers, you really think they need a hug? Huh? If they violated one of your loved ones, would you want to hug them in the courtroom? Or would you see them before they made it to the courtroom? See, that's what I get on when I talk about being a justice empath. See, I am an empath, but see, there are special types of empaths. I'm one of those types. Why do I know I'm an empath? Because I am. Yep, I love humanity. You don't know anything I've done in my life to save people or help someone. You don't know what risks I've taken in my life, you know, in the name of trying to help someone else or, you know, keep them from being harmed severely. You don't know what I do. You don't know what I've done. So, when I talk about being a hybrid empath, I'm saying I'm not the typical empath. That's why I'm hybrid. I'm a justice empath. Now, I did some videos a while back and I gave you guys some information on what I mean by a justice empath. and what we stand for. You know? See, the person that invented courthouses, they were justice empath people. Right? Sure, I'm sure they had love. I'm sure they loved their family members. I'm sure they loved the community because that's why they were trying to protect the community. See, we're coming from similar places, different vehicles, right? Now, I do appreciate the peace. I really do. And anyone who embellishes peaceful mindsets and love, I want that. I want to be around you. Because see, the people I talk about, they aren't that, right? So I avoid those types of people. That's all I'm saying. For every injury that I've received, all that did for me was teach me and make me learn about the realities of life. See, you put your hand on that stove and you get burned, and then you know that the stove is hot, right? Now, someone could tell you that that stove is hot, but not until you actually experience the pain of the heat do you understand that the stove is something to avoid. So people who have money, they don't live in poor communities. You know why? Because see, their sanity can be compromised at any given time. I could take any of you Beverly Hills people, and I can put you in the slums of Chicago somewhere with all of your money and the trappings of your success, and tell you to walk down the street. And you know what? None of that shit would mean anything. Because that's the fucking jungle. And that's the reality of their jungle. And in that jungle, they hunt. Right? Let's see how much hugs and kisses you would have after a week of staying in Southside Chicago. Let's see that. Let's see if they turn you out. Now, if you can persevere through that, you're great. And like I said, I believe that. I really believe that. You know? I just think it's interesting how people cannot see how I view the world. Sometimes I talk to people and they're really confused about how I think about things. You know? We talk about some of these atrocious people in the world who have done some heinous things. And I talk about taking them for a ride somewhere, and we just don't know where they went. You know, stuff like that. Sometimes they think that's negative. And it may be. Like I said, justice is not always roses and hugs and flowers. Justice is not always about that. Right? Wars and conflicts don't always happen because people just want to see how good they can fight. It's always about a negative emotion. It's always about someone trying to take over someone else. That's why I talk about this shit. Because this is the problem in the world at large. This is why we have victims. Right? The lady in the rape crisis shelter, is she a victim? She is a victim. Do they call her a victim? Yeah. You think the person who committed the crime that they apprehended and locked up, you think he calls them victims? If he's remorseful, he's calling them victims. Right? If he has any bit of remorse in his soul, he's calling them a victim because he made them a victim. See, sometimes we don't get to choose, you know, in this life. Sometimes we're made victims, you know? And I've looked at hours and hours of footage at ATMs. Sometimes there were cops at ATMs and they were off duty and some guy ran up on them and they had to put the guy down. Do you really believe that cop didn't think he was being a victim? See, I always bring up these situations where we see the real violence, because this is where it matters, right? The corporate cyber crimes that happen, these hackers and shit. So if they were able to hack your nice bank account and take all of your funds, would you be a victim? Right? The people who shark you on business deals and shark you out of some opportunity that you had your hands around, right? Did they make you a victim? See, we can only just call ourselves a victim, but it is what it is. I can say I'm a victim, or I can say that I'm not a victim. And if I'm not one, then hey, I'm helping myself mentally. But technically, The person who does something to me is the offender, and I'm the victim of the offense. That's the technical thing about it. That's why I talk to you. You know? So I just want you to understand that we all have a place here. I want you guys here. I need you guys here. Because I don't want everyone to be bad behaved, right? Because I love bad behavior, but I don't really love it. See, I don't think y'all get that either, right? The irony of it, right? The irony. I don't really love bad behavior. You don't really believe I love it, do you? When I'm talking about justice, what is justice? Huh? What is justice? When people get settlements in lawsuits, do they feel they got justice? Right? When they were scammed out of some their life savings or something, because that happens all the time. Elderly people get scammed, right? Are they victims? So I don't want to have people walking around thinking they're victims all the time. That's not what I'm here for. See, you're not listening to my message. What I'm here to do is tell them and make them aware that those people are around. And see, typically when people steal from you money and stuff like that, they're typically close to you. They're typically very close to you. That's how they're able to do it. So all I want people to do is just pay attention to who's around them. And am I right about that? Now, if you don't believe me, how about this? How about I send 20 of my best friends to your house to come stay and hang out, and they can report back to me and tell me how great your house was and everything else. You're not going to let them in, are you? Because you don't know them. As a matter of fact, to be honest, I don't have 20 best friends. Right? I have a very small circle of friends. So let's be real about that. But if I were to send 20 people to talk to you and say, hey, we want to come to a party you're having. We want to, would you invite them in if you didn't know them? Can I come to your house right now? I can't. And guess what? You can't come to my house either. So we're in good shape, right? We have an understanding of reality, right? But you're great. You're great. You give me something to think about all the time, right? And I watch your videos a lot. I watch a lot of you guys, honestly. Not to flatter you, because you don't need me to flatter you. You have many people that you can flatter you, right? You have tons of fans, right? I think you called it a boss thing or something. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, I want to send a shout out to some of my fans out there, the people who support me and tell me that they love what I'm doing and that they've experienced similar things, and to keep up the good fight. Those people. See, because there's a lot more of those people in the world. Because see, the fans that you have, they're only just a small fraction of the world. They're just a pinch of the actual world. So that means that I can gain the same amount of people, right? And we still wouldn't put a dent in the population, would we? So what that tells me is that we all have room to exist in this world and say what we need to say. And I'm never blasting your message. The only thing I'm saying is that when you say I'm being negative, I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic, right? There are many YouTube videos and many YouTubers on YouTube, much bigger than you, and many of them smaller than you. And these people have messages. Some of them are the same, some of them are different. And they're all saying what they need to say for the people who want to hear what they have to say. So, I love bad behavior people. I love mutual respect though. And I do have mutual respect for all my people on social media, everyone that I follow, everyone who's doing this. And I will hope that they come to respect me the same when they know me, right? If they're going to know me. And if they don't, oh well. Like I said, like, share the videos. I'm going to get on down this road. I'll be checking for you. I see you. Take care.